Hello. So, I wanted to talk today about something that happened in my community, really. I made an offering, they didn't take it, and I had to go back to the drawing board. But what I learned in that process is that, of course, I didn't fail. I failed forward because I decided I would go back and just build a better buggy, per se. And so, in that process, though, I had to think of what I couldn't just rush through from point to point to point. I had to actually take a step back and look at why didn't it succeed? Why didn't it work? What was the issue there? And so, with that, I was able to actually go through and figure out that it was my messaging, it was my content delivery to my peeps that didn't really attract them. It wasn't very relatable. And so this week, in true Kimberly style, I like to share with my community what I learned as I grow and develop. So I did a podcast on it, and I shared that in the podcast where I talked about messaging and how important it is and the content you deliver to your community. And I won't belabor you with that. You can always go to inspiredwomenamazinglives.com podcast/podcast and check that out and hear the entire podcast. But I wanted to still touch on messaging and content in my blog today because that was such a big breakthrough for me. A lot of because content and messaging is not my specialty. I rush through it, and I don't always take the time to just make sure that I'm making myself clear, that my voice is loud and crystal clear. And so the core message of who you are, what you represent, what your business represents, what your brand represents, all of that is essential in that process because you are introducing people that are new to your community to you, and you're remaining connected and relatable to the people who are already there. And so, I wanted to make sure that I talked about that. And in the podcast, I developed I call them 3 powerful confirmation statements for my content. And I wanted to share that with you as well because I thought it was so important in my messaging. So the first one is I am very clear about who my message is meant for. These are check-ins that I'm doing as I create the content. The next one is the offers that I present to my community are of great interest to them and to me. And the third one is I'm always sharing my best content with amazing value to my audience. And what this will do for me, these 3 powerful confirmation statements, they will allow me to always check in with my content before I'm sending it out there. And that is the message that I'm sharing in my blog today. Also, I have an invitation for you to come and work with me in my Rise and Grind Radical Accountability Program. And it's a 30-day program where you work on any project you'd like. And working on your content could be a 30-day project in itself. It's on my page, Inspired Women Amazing Lives /Rise and Grind, and you can check it out there. And I will see you next time in my blog. Bye.